Duel Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com. On today's Duel Review, it's Galaxy Quest, the movie. What else would it be? I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it. Today is February 3rd, and we're going to be taking a look at Galaxy Quest, the movie.
That's right, and that came out in 1999, and it is one of my favorites. With the words, it stars Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Alan Rickman, among the Tony Shalhoub's in there, plus a lot of other great people are in that movie. And basically, the premise is a science fiction show, much to the likes of Star Trek, is produced, and the fan following comes about just like the Trekkies. People follow this. They go to conventions to see the actors who played these people, and they treat them as if they were actually these people. So you have people coming up to Tim Allen's character, asking all sorts of technical questions about what happened in certain episodes. And how that could possibly happen. Meanwhile, in another part of the galaxy, aliens receive these historical documents and believe them to be true, and they model their technology and their way of life based off of what they saw. Well, their existence is threatened by a character named Saris, who looks like a giant lobster head. And they go in search of the crew of the Protector, and find them, bring them to space, and these actors take on the role of heroic astronauts.
Yeah, and like Tim Allen is kind of a William Shatner kind of stand-in, right?
Right.
I mean, more or less. And then Alan Rickman is kind of like Spock.
Well,
Leonard Nimoy.
This movie makes no mistake. It is portraying the aura around Star Trek.
Yeah, it's a spoof of Star Trek.
For example, one thing that happened to William Shatner that is portrayed in this movie is one time William Shatner was in the bathroom in a stall, and these three Klingons were at the urinal talking about how failed their life is. They're being William Shatner and the crew, that they've only been in this one series, and they cling to it like they have nothing else left. They haven't been in any acting part, for however long.
Yeah, and then they get the role of a lifetime.
And then they get the role of a lifetime. That's right.
I've seen it. I'm trying to remember where. Was it Futurama? I've seen this where they literally took the Star Trek guys and put them on a planet and like forced them to do things.
Oh, that was Futurama, yeah.
Was it Futurama? Anyway, so
yeah, they
we
were
have seen this before. I guess
they
this
were all
would
in
have
heads,
come
and the
yeah, okay.
energy
I guess this
thing
would
gives them bodies.
Come first, but anyway, yeah, it is kind of a brilliant, just fun.
Yeah, it's a great spoof, but it's also got a lot of. I mean, granted, like all good comedies, it's got this kind of inner tragedy too, because at first, Commander Taggart, Tim Allen's character, or the character Tim Allen's character plays, Jason Nesmith. I'm going to stop with the names. There's too many of them. So Tim Allen's character is struggling with the fact that, or he loved going to conventions. He loved being the hero. He loved being looked up to. Then when he found out that people thought he was a joke, he crumbled, and you could just, everything about that was just so great. Just the way he crumbled.
Yeah, well, and Tim Allen plays that role really well.
Yes.
That kind of, there's a chink in the armor. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then Alan Rickman, I love Alan Rickman. He's one of those actors that any role he's in, he's one of those that's kind of like Malkovich, where he's always kind of the same, but I love him in everything he's in. I really enjoy him. I remember Die Hard was the first time I really experienced him, but I love that actor.
I remember.
He's the only reason for me to watch the Harry Potter movies. Don't hate me, but he's really the only reason.
He was in Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Slytherin guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
But yeah, so a lot of great stuff happens. You have this one character, and I love this character. His name is Guy, and he's not a regular member of the crew, but he played a guy who died 5 minutes in.
Yeah.
And he constantly popped up. So
he's the guy in the red
yeah,
Star Trek.
Yeah. And so he's tagging along with these people because he wants to be part of the, back in the show again. and he's constantly like when they're going down to the planet to get the beryllium sphere to power their ship. He's like, I want to go back, and he's like, but you fought to get over here. He's like, yeah, well, that's when I thought that I was the guy who stayed up on the ship, and
but now I'm the guy nobody knows that's with the girl.
Yeah, now and who dies on the ship, but now I think I'm gonna die 5 minutes on the landing or something like that.
Yeah, it has a lot of fun with that, and
Tony Shalhoub is hilarious. Tony Shalhoub plays a regular person playing a Chinese person. Like we know he's not Chinese, and he knows he's not Chinese, but every now and then when he does the close-up, he does the little squinty thing like he's Chinese, and, he just pulls it off, and he's just so calm, and he's always eating, and he's, like when he's tackling down to the planet, everyone's like, freaking out, and he's over there eating his, like, little sticks and cheese. Like,
hey, I was excited about Wrestling Game earlier, so he's excited about this.
I see how
it did get some good success. I don't think it was, like, critically acclaimed or anything, but I think cult people love it.
I love this film. I love everything about it.
And if you happen to miss it, it's definitely worth a watch. I don't love it as much as you, but I do like it.
Have you even watched the show?
I do like it, but I'm not a huge fan of Shalhoub, although I do think his role is funny. He does a good job. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie. I like Spaceballs better. That's like canon to me.
Yeah,
it's like may the Schwartz be with you. And
see, yeah,
it's Mel Brooks, so it's
yeah.
Definitely
When you bring that up, it shocked me that you said that because I wouldn't even compare the two. Spaceballs is Spaceballs. You can't put Spaceballs in category with anything else other than, I don't know, Blazing Saddles.
Well, okay, Galaxy Quest is a Star Trek riff,
right?
And Spaceballs is a Star Wars riff.
Oh wow, way to put that together. That's good.
It's a little different though because Star Wars, they're not actors playing a part, so
right.
They definitely have their own unique flavor, and I like them both. But yeah, whatever. It's great.
Yeah, I absolutely love Spaceballs, but I absolutely love
vibrating like
Galaxy Quest. Oh, I do. It's such a great movie.
And I do love Alan Rickman's stupid hat, prosthetic head thing. It just looks ridiculous.
You know what? That brings me to a point that I was mulling over before, and I really wanted to. I don't know how I want to portray my feelings on it, but in this film, Alan Rickman's character plays this alien creature, and with the stupid thing, and he has this saying that he says, this catch line, and he hates it. He just hates it so much.
Yeah, that's awesome.
By Grabthar's hammer, by the sons of Orvan, you shall be avenged. And he has to say it, opening new buildings and stuff. He just has to say it.
It's like live long and prosper.
And he's so pissed off. He doesn't want to hear it anymore. He just hates it. But then, something happens and he says it, but it has all new meaning. And this is where Alan Rickman comes in as an actor, because you could see in his character that he knows what he's saying is so cliche because he said it a million times, but it has this all new power, because he means it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just I love a lot of things about it. I love Sigourney Weaver. Not me. I love Sigourney Weaver.
I was going to ask, is she supposed to be like a Hura or?
Yeah, I don't know.
They just made up a character so they could have Sigourney Weaver in.
Right.
Which is
well, they made up a character so they could have any broad in there, and any woman, any woman in there.
Broad comedy.
Any woman in there to play a remedial part, and Sigourney Weaver said yes. I'm surprised that she said yes, but I'm so happy that she did because I love Sigourney Weaver.
Oh yeah, but she's getting typecast at that point, I think, so she probably wants to poke fun at her own career kind of thing.
Yeah, she's the strong female person, and in this...
I think as a person, she's a pretty confident person, so I don't... Yeah, I mean, she shaved her head when not many women were doing that, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think she's
a pioneer in some respects.
The
first one, Sinead O'Connor, but... yeah, she's taken some risks in her own career, so it's a perfect role for her, I think.
Yeah, and she was great in it. I love everything about that movie. It's just so fun, So Sigourney Weaver's in this film. She does a great job as someone who just repeats the computer. That's her only job on the show. So that's her only job. Yeah, and to look good. Her throughout the entire film, her chest is more revealed. Which is funny because, in the other movies, she doesn't have a chest, but they really push it up.
I mean, Uhura, they must be riffing on Uhura there.
Yeah, maybe.
So anyway.
All right, so yes, I recommend this. I don't know what he says.
No, I do recommend it. I don't love it as much. Like I say, I'm not vibrating in my chair, but...
I think it is on Netflix, so check it out.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it if it is.
But I love this movie. Sometimes I need a fix for it, and, I have to take parts of the packaging and boil it down and...
Okay. And you don't have to love Star Trek. In fact, you could hate Star Trek and still find this funny because it just makes fun of the actors. And
it makes fun of everything.
It's a lot of fun. All right, guys, that's it. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Support us any way you can.
If you're going to Emerald City Comic Con, please let me know. I'm trying to take a tally.
Thank you so much.
No! I'm winning! I am in the lead! Oh, but what?
For the first time, it hurts my soul.
Snick it!
For the first time in 154 episodes or whatever it is. Yeah. You're now ahead.
You totally just belittled my victory.
No,
You're like, oh.
I was saying that it took you a lot of effort to get to this point.
That's belittling me. That's essentially saying, you suck.
Dude, I suck more because I had a lead and then I lost it, so.
No, you had a lead for 150 episodes.
We'll see you at 200. Next week, it's Flash Thompson as Venom. On today's Duel review, it is Duck, and Mike is standing in for Nick. Ah! On today's news, it's like the world in a nutshell. The Middle East is still at war, people still don't like each other, and we're still poor. Back to you.
I haven't been using my slate.
You do know that the very people that are like global warming are the ones that are like, oh yeah, millions of years ago it happened and killed off the dinosaurs. It's like, okay, so millions of years ago the dinosaurs were using aerosol cans? Look, I do not agree with carbon dating. I think it's foolish because our atmosphere could have changed such that carbon is not consistently lost. You don't know that, just like what you're arguing. But what I'm saying is that people who do believe in carbon dating are the same people who have been like, global warming, who are the same people who have been like millions of years ago.
What I'm arguing is you don't know whether or not a Tyrannosaurus created an aerosol can. You don't know that. Sure, they had small arms, but you know, maybe they were industrious. Maybe they could use their feet for stuff.
Maybe they were pets to alien race that was on our planet.
That's highly unlikely.
And they left no skulls or skeletons, except for the crystal skull, which was found by Indiana Jones.
That was a horrible movie. Don't ever reference that again.
Great movie, because it's true. It's historically accurate. It's factual, and I have no problem believing the ending. Or that monkeys can chase you in a Jeep.
They can't?
Apparently they can.
Oh, okay.
I have no problem believing that. It must happen. And then also that particles float through the air because of magnetic pull at the very beginning of the movie. That makes perfect sense. And then the monkeys, again.
Okay, let's stop talking about that movie, because as far as I'm concerned, that movie never existed.
I live here. 99.
Damn it. Alright, I shouldn't have switched.
It was later than me. I thought it was when I was high school. When I was high school. Ka-chow! Are you hurting yourself? Is that what? Ka-chow! 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 What's ka-chow? Where'd that come from?
This area?
Where's ka-chow? It doesn't make sense. Ka-chow! Ka-chow! You
feel it.
I don't get it.
Dude, throw
Oh, that's what it is. It's because you read so many comics. They have those stupid... Kapow! Ka-chow! Well, kapow makes sense, kind of, but yeah, I keep reading, you know, like, schnicked and stuff like that. You know, I know that's a classic thing, but... I don't know. It is one of those things that, like, when I come up with a noise, like, I'm trying to figure out how to relate it to people, but I read these and it's like, crackers? Like, what? You're a parrot? He's asking for crackers? What's going on? Okay, good chow. Alright. So, today is February 3rd, and we're taking a look at... It was not intelligible speak.